Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VII. We are at part 33. In the last part, we made our way back to Midgar after such a long time away. And in this part, we're going to continue on to through Midgar to try to stop Hojo from firing the fuck you can and right at Sephiroth to give him all the energy that he could want. You know, we gotta put a stop to that. So, we're gonna go after Hojo now. This is going to be the last part in Disc 2. We are ending Disc 2 in this part, so yeah. We're getting pretty close to the end. Like I said, Disc 3 is just side quests and endgame, and we have two parts left after this. One part is going to be the side quests, and the last part is going to be the endgame, so fuck yeah, I just hit my desk. Oh man. But yeah, we're getting close. We're just running along through these, the underground in Midgar. It's a fun time. This is going to be a pretty story-heavy part. Of course, it's the end of a disc, so we're going to have some boss fights. We're going to have some story stuff. It's going to be a fun time. Before you keep moving forward here, before you get to that point, be sure to like make sure you're decently prepared, because we got a pretty big boss fight here. Excuse me. We got a pretty big boss fight here. It's this big fuck you robot that's being run by the remaining Shinra executives, Heidegger and Scarlet. So we're finally going to put an end to the Shinra in Midgar once and for all. We gotta take care of these guys, and then we gotta take care of Hojo, and that'll be it. The Shinra will be officially finished. Anti-weapon artillery. So yeah, here we go. This is one last stand from the Shinra executives to take us down. And this boss fight, the Proud Cloud, but this boss fight actually can be kind of difficult, so just be careful. Like I said, we're decked out, so you know, it's not too bad. We're gonna show off Barrett's nice level 4 limit break here. It's a pretty good limit break. It's multi-hit, it hits every target, it does quite a bit of damage, and it's also a really cool animation, so oh, we're getting all the good damage in there. Beautiful. Yes. So yeah. The Cloud throw up a big guard, and then Yuffie's going to be quadricasting Ultima, as she does. It's going to throw out a regen, just to, you know, have us heal without actually having to cast heal, waste turn casting heal. Oh, quadricast Ultima. Like I said, if you follow this, you know, this guide main story wise, once you get Knights of the Round, you're good. If you want, you can just spam that. Still, I don't like doing that, especially for this commentary, because I want to show off, you know, the game. And here I am trying to figure out what the fuck to do with Yuffie. Now that she's quadricasted Ultima, I don't have a lot on her right now, which will change next part, because we're going to be getting a shit ton of new materia and abilities in the next part, with all the side stuff. So, yeah. It's going to be a fun time. Let's have him throw out a Comet 2. And then you are going to throw out... Let's see. Aqualung, yeah. And then, Ultima. Or what am I doing? Yeah, I'm throwing out an Ultima. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. I like how the Shinra's theme is playing through this boss fight instead of like an actual boss battle theme. Let's see, does Aqualung work? Let's find out. Hey, it does! It did that clusterfuck of damage that you couldn't really see. So yeah, now I'm just going to be throwing out Aqualung, and there's that Ultima. Beautiful. The barrier is about to die down. Do I recast it or do I just leave it? Yeah. We're pretty much set for this boss fight, because I've gotten all the abilities and stuff, but if you're just doing main story exclusively and nothing else, this boss fight can be a bit of a challenge, so just be careful. It has some pretty strong attacks and stuff. I remember I died here my first playthrough, actually. But, yeah. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna hit it really fucking hard. And one of the pieces of it is dead, which means the other one's gonna go down pretty soon here. Aqualung. See, even in endgame, well, close to endgame, we're still using Aqualung. A thing we got all the way back in part 12. Oh, memories. No, but yeah. Fire move. Ow. Excuse you. And there's that counter materia still doing its work with Cloud. Oh boy. Okay, it should be dead pretty soon here. Basically now my strategy is just hit it as hard as possible. It's a good strategy, let me tell you. It works. It does wonders. It should be, yeah, it's about to die. Just like a few more hits and it should be good. Is that it? I think that's it. Yep. It's gonna... Oh. Or wait. I thought that was it. Oh, yep, that's it. Okay, beautiful. And we get a good amount of experience for that. Some materia levels up. We're mastering some materia. Like I said, if you master a materia in this game, you get a level 1 new version of that materia. So if you can grind enough, you can get as much as you want of any materia for free. That would take a lot of grinding, though. Don't recommend doing that. Oh yeah, and that's it for Heidegger and Scarlet. Meaning that's pretty much it for the Shinra. Now we just gotta stop Hojo. And I am equipping, we got the Ragnarok, which is a really good sword that I'm giving to Cloud. That we will actually replace in the very next part, because next part we are going to be getting Cloud's ultimate weapon, which is yucky good. But yeah, we're getting some nice treasure here. Just re-equipping everyone. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, save, and then we keep going. Oh, random battle. We got a new enemy here. Big ass fucking spike tank. I feel this reminds me kind of the boss that we fought at the end of Midgar, but it's a lot harder than that because, you know, we're doing way more damage than we were in Midgar. But still, kind of reminds me of that. The boss after the motorcycle sequence in Midgar. But this guy isn't too bad. He has a lot of targets, but you know, it's just a normal enemy, so it's not going to throw anything too crazy at you. Like I said, this game, I've said this from the beginning, this is not the hardest game in the world. It's certainly harder than some of the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies. It's harder than 4 and 6, I would say. The original versions of 4 and 6, like, or the North American version of 4, and just 6 in general, this game is harder than 6. But I think it's about on par with the international version of 4, which is still not that hard. It's easier than 5, though. I would say it's easier than 9. But it's still... It's not a complete brain-dead cakewalk, but it's also still not very hard. Especially if you get the optional stuff, you know. This is not... You've noticed, I mean, I've only gotten one game over, and even then that was from a complete freak accident. It's not much of a challenge at all. Nothing in this game is going to really super push your RPG playing skills. If you want something like that play, I would recommend Final Fantasy V, or maybe a Shin Megami Tensei game if you hate yourself. You know, those games are fun, but they're also pretty fucking hard. But yeah, or, you know, I would recommend if you want an introduction to kind of harder RPGs, play something like Persona 5, which is definitely can be pretty tricky, but is not impossible by any means. But definitely harder than something like this. But you know, you play this game, you know, the oh, I think that is Barrett's ultimate weapon that we just got there. Yep, that is it. Ultimate weapons for characters are really strong, but they don't have any materia growth at all, meaning you can equip materia onto it, but it won't be getting any, like, AP, so the materia can't level up any more than what you currently have equipped onto it. So I recommend, once you are, like, set and have the materia you want for the end of the game, then equip the ultimate weapons. But before that, if you want to keep getting materia growth, I would not recommend equipping them. Anyway, we've made it to the top, and here's Hojo, and Hojo still thinks Cloud is this failed experiment, because he kind of is. I mean, he got injected with Genova cells after the events of the Nibelheim incident, but, you know, he still wasn't created by Hojo, so... but yeah, and Hojo's just kind of completely lost his mind. Quit asking me why, you moron. You might be cut out to be a scientist. But Hojo's kind of just completely lost it. He's a despicable human being, and this is kind of when you're supposed to get the realization. We found this out a few parts ago, but this is when you're supposed to get the realization that Hojo is Sephiroth's father, which Sephiroth has always kind of thought Hojo to be this just madman, kind of not a great person. So Hojo kind of laments of like, man, what would Sephiroth think if he realized that me, this person he talked down to so much, was his father? But Hojo also, because he's just completely lost his fucking mind, injected himself with Genova cells, so now we got a boss fight. And, this is a long-ass boss fight. Of course, always start out with a big guard. Big guard is fucking great. But, yeah, this is a multi-phase boss fight, and it's not the hardest in the world, but just like, yeah, be prepared. It can take a while. We get to listen to Genova's theme though, which is great. But Hojo's completely lost it, so we gotta put an end to Hojo's fucking madness. Always, you know, just start out buffing the party for the boss fight. Big guard to get haste and the defense going. Regen to get the healing going. Yep, am I gonna throw it? Yeah, or no, I'm not. Comet 2, beautiful. The multi-hit attacks. Yes. And Quadricast Ultima is doing a really good amount of damage here. Shit. Yeah, I love this theme a lot. This is a great boss theme. They're taking advantage of the extra storage space on the PlayStation. Like, this is the biggest soundtrack of the series up to this point. So we were able to have a lot more battle themes, a lot more boss themes. We still haven't seen 3 of the battle themes in this game yet, actually, because those are all reserved for endgame. But yeah, this is the biggest soundtrack of the series up to this point. So that's great, and it sounds fantastic. Biogas. And also, I think I've talked about this. I know some people don't like the sound font in this game, but I love it. I think the sound font, just using the actual PlayStation's like internal sound chip, rather than the Redbook like CD quality audio that most PlayStation games use, gives this game a super unique sound. Like, you listen to this game's soundtrack, you can immediately tell that it's Final Fantasy VII, and I think it's great. I love how it sounds. It gives the game so much personality, and I think it fits with kind of, you know, the older, kind of crusty visuals. I think the sound chip, like the more synthesized music, really fits with it a lot, and it still sounds fantastic. Some songs sound better than others, and some songs I prefer the orchestral versions of, but some I prefer the originals. Like the main theme of this game, I prefer the original version of the song. over the orchestral arrangements. And arguably, same with One Winged Angel. One Winged Angel kind of has a lot more of a punch in the original, and we'll hear One Winged Angel in the finale, obviously. But it has a lot more of a punch in the original version of the song than in the orchestral versions. But the orchestral versions kind of start out a little too weak when, like, you know, the song is meant to be this aggressive. It's not meant to be a pretty song. It's meant to be this aggressive, like, you're gonna die, this kind of song. But of course, Hojo's changing forms. Jenova's mutating his body. So Hojo's kind of just completely lost it, and he's kind of just given up on, you know, living like a normal person. So that's it for that phase. We got one more phase left. Like I said, this is a longer boss fight. But also, this song, I way prefer the original over the orchestral version of the song. I think Aerith's theme, I probably prefer the orchestral version, but the original still sounds beautiful. Still, no matter what, the compositions are just so strong in this game. This is one of Uematsu's best works, like ever. It might be my favorite soundtrack in the series. If it's not this, then it might be 6. But 6, I don't know, or 9. 9's soundtrack is also excellent. And also his, yeah. I mean, all his work is excellent. His work in 4 and 5 is also excellent. His work in Final Fantasy X is excellent. And the remake soundtrack, from what I've heard, the remake hasn't come out yet, but the remake soundtrack has sounded amazing so far. I think I've talked about it. I'm a little concerned about the remake. Maybe mainly because, you know, the original game is such a important game to the history of video games and stuff, so I think as a game it'll be fine. I feel like they aren't gonna fuck that up. What I'm worried about, and what Squaresoft has kind of, or Square Enix has kind of been getting wrong with Final Fantasy lately, is the stories. Like, and you know, this is gonna be just one part of the Final Fantasy VII story. So like, if it's just gonna be in Midgar, how are they gonna stretch out this story? Because Midgar is only like the first 5 hours of the game, if you remember, and that's it for that boss fight. So how are they going to stretch out that segment to be a full-fledged, like, 40-hour RPG and make the story interesting all the way through? That's something I'm a little concerned about. But, and I'm also, of course, they're going to have to change around some stuff to do that. So I'm a little concerned about that too, what changes they're going to make, especially since Nomura's behind it. Nomura can sometimes make some batshit storytelling choices. Look at Kingdom Hearts for an example. But anyways, on with this game, at least, even if it ends up, you know, sucking, we'll still have this game, the original, and the original's fantastic. So that's it for Hojo. We killed Hojo, and yeah. And as Kate Sith said, the Shinra is officially finished. That's it. They're gone. And now we have very little time left to stop Meteor. But since the Northern Crater is open now, we can go and stop Sephiroth. But, as Cloud says, if we can't beat Sephiroth, like, that's it. So, what Cloud's going to do here is he encourages everyone to go out and find a reason for why they're fighting, to motivate them, to make their chances of beating Sephiroth better. He wants everyone to figure out just not only they're fighting for saving the planet, but they need to find something else personal to them that they're fighting for. And he says, for him, it's a personal thing. He wants to settle his past. He wants to avenge his hometown. He wants to avenge what happened to him personally, what Sephiroth has done to him. All the insecurities that Sephiroth has created for him, all the problems, the mental illness, everything that Sephiroth has caused him, he wants to get revenge on him. And Barrett here says he's found what he wants to, and he realizes that his actions at the beginning of the game were not the way to go about things. He did it with the cause of saving the planet, but really, He just hated the Shinra and wanted to get revenge on them however he could, even at the cost of innocent lives. And now he realizes what he wants more than anything is to see a bright future for Marlene. And that's who he's fighting for now. His adopted daughter. That's who he wants to fight for. That's who he wants to save, ultimately. And that's honestly, that's a beautiful character arc for Barrett. I love Barrett. I love that arc a lot. It's really strong character writing there. Where, you know, it's an example of doing the maybe the right thing but for the wrong reasons, and how that can still lead to some pretty awful things happening. But Cloud encourages everyone to go off for a bit to find something that they're personally wanting to fight for, and he says if they can't find it, don't come back. Like, yeah, if you can't find it, like, I won't hold it against you, just don't come back. Which, I mean, that's a pretty big risk he's pulling, but he truly believes that they can't find a reason to fight, then they don't really have a chance. And all that's left now is Tifa and Cloud, who have nowhere to go. They've lost their hometown. And yeah. Yeah, so Tifa doesn't really know where to go, what she's fighting for. And Cloud doesn't have anywhere to go, but Tifa finally confesses her true feelings, which were kind of confessed in Cloud's subconscious in part 27, but she says it here. As long as I'm with you, I know I'll be okay. I know everything will be okay, and I know what I'm fighting for. And yeah, so Tifa and Cloud have always liked each other. They always have. They've always had feelings for each other, and they've just never really known how to express that to each other. And do you think the stars can hear us? I love that line. I love that line a lot. But yeah, that's what Tifa is fighting for Cloud. That's what she's fighting for. Because she cares about Cloud. I know it kind of sets up, especially since we went on the date with Aerith, it kind of sets up a romance between Cloud and Aerith, but I way prefer this romance between Cloud and Tifa. I think it's a lot sweeter, it's a lot more earned. And I love Aerith as a character, but Aerith as Cloud as a romantic partner, she was kind of just looking at him as a replacement for Zack. Tifa loves Cloud as Cloud. And it's almost dawn, so they gotta get back to the ship, but Tifa just wants to stay here with Cloud just a little bit longer before Meteor hits. Just in case it doesn't work out. She'll never get this moment again, so she needs to have it now. And I love that. I love that. They're a cute couple. I like them. I love Tifa as a character. It's great. But yeah. So now nobody's come back. So they just have to go together. And yeah. At least, yeah. And Cloud says, we'll be okay. Whatever happens, happens. At least we won't have to go on alone. We'll have each other. Because nobody's come back. And Cloud said he doesn't blame them for not wanting to come back if they can't find what they're fighting for. So, yeah. Now it's just Cloud and Tifa. They're all that's left. They know what they're fighting for. Excuse me. But it's okay. They have each other, and that's what matters. I'll make a big enough ruckus for everyone. But yeah. We won't have time to feel lonely. What the fuck? What was that noise? What could that be? It's moving. What could this be? They're back. Kate Sith's back. Barrett's back. Sid's back. People came back. Is that okay with you? Red 13! Everyone's found something to fight for. Hey, Red 13. They found something to fight for. And, they listened in. So this kind of implies Cloud and Tifa they kind of banged, and they were all listening in on it. Oof. But Vincent came back too, and Cloud's kind of surprised by that one because Vincent always came across as a bit colder, but Vincent still cares. And even Kate Sith came back. Reeve came back. He's now kind of caught on to what he's gonna caught on to what their mentality is. Fighting to do what's right, not for the money, not for any personal gain, but just to do what's right. He's found that that's the reason he wants to fight. And even Yuffie came back. The stupid idiot teenager character. I love Yuffie. But yeah, Yuffie's back. Thank God, she's one of our main party members. And she's getting airsick again. Oh boy. I love this cast of characters. This is one of my favorite casts in the series. But yeah. And as they say here, there's still one person missing who we can't get back. And we have to finish what she started. That's a big reason for all of them to fight. They have to finish what Aerith started. They can't let her die in vain. They need to finish what she started so she can return to the planet and so she can save the world. But yeah, everyone's come back to fight, and that now will lead us to the end game. God, excuse me. I am clogged up or something. I'm dying. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're in endgame now, and now we have these rockets going off that are going to blast us to the northern crater, so we can take on Sephiroth. And oh, I love this airship theme so much. We've heard it so much at this point in the game, but I love it. It's great. So yeah. Here we go. We're on our way, Sephiroth, you stupid motherfucker. We're gonna stop you. It's time. It's time to put an end to all this. Oh no. But actually, of course, the airship's going to crash down on the northern crater. But of course, it's not time yet. We got 2 parts left. And in the next part, this is the end of Disc 2 right here. And in the next part, we are going to do a bunch of side stuff. Of all the side stuff that opens up in Disc 3. We're going to be taking care of most of it. Not all of it. Most of it. Including the 2 optional super bosses that this game has. So, if you just want main story, you can actually skip the next part, but otherwise, if you want to see me fucking die a lot, then tune in, because it's going to be a great time. I will see you guys next time for more Final Fantasy VII.